the Middle East, a region synonymous with ancient history, rich culture, and perpetual conflict. Today, that conflict burns hotter than ever. Israel, surrounded by enemies. Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, backed by Iran. From Gaza to Lebanon to Yemen, battles rage, missiles fly, lives are lost. The flames of this tinderbox threaten the world. Why should you, sitting comfortably, care about a conflict in a distant land? Because the Middle East is closer than you think. It's about the oil that fuels our cars. It's about the global economy and the possibility of a nuclear confrontation. Decisions in Jerusalem, Tehran, and Washington, D.C. ripple globally. Understanding this conflict shapes our future. Join us as we unravel the complexities. This story demands your attention. October 2024. A month that began with whispers of peace ended with the deafening roar of rockets and airstrikes. The fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas crumbled under renewed violence. It began with border clashes in Gaza. Palestinian militants launched incendiary balloons and rockets into southern Israel. Israel responded with overwhelming force. The situation spiraled rapidly. Rocket barrages from Gaza grew bolder, reaching deeper into Israeli territory. Israel intensified its airstrikes, targeting Hamas military installations. The death toll on both sides mounted, with civilians bearing the brunt of the violence. Hamas, the Islamist militant group that controls the Gaza Strip, found itself walking a tightrope. Under pressure from a restive population, it needed to demonstrate its strength against Israel. Israel relied heavily on its Iron Dome missile defense system to intercept incoming rockets. The sheer volume of rockets fired by Hamas tested its limits. International efforts to broker a ceasefire gained urgency. Section 3. Hezbollah, a shadow war on Israel's northern border. While the world's attention focused on Gaza, another front simmered with tension. Hezbollah, the powerful Iran-backed militia in Lebanon, watched keenly. They fought a devastating war with Israel in 2006 and maintained a tense ceasefire. Leader Hassan Nasrallah warned against Israeli escalation. Sporadic rocket fire from Lebanon into Israel was reported. Israel held Hezbollah responsible, warning of retaliation. The situation remained highly volatile. Section 4. The Houthi factor rockets from Yemen. The Houthis, a Shiite rebel group aligned with Iran, control much of Yemen. They have targeted Saudi Arabia with missiles and drones since 2014. In October, the Houthis launched missiles towards Israel in solidarity with Palestinians. These attacks, intercepted by Saudi defenses, showed the Houthis' reach. They highlighted the interconnectedness of Middle East conflicts. Iran, the shadow power broker. Iran looms large behind the scenes. It views Israel as its arch nemesis. Iran supports Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. Tehran provides funding, weapons, and training. Iran weakens Israel through proxy conflicts. To understand the animosity between Iran and Israel, one must delve into history. The 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power. Khomeini declared Israel a cancerous tumor. Despite hostility, Iran and Israel maintained a pragmatic relationship during the Iran-Iraq War. The specter of a nuclear-armed Iran haunts Israel. Israel views Iran's nuclear program as an existential threat. Israel has threatened preemptive action. The 2015 nuclear deal eased tensions. The U.S. withdrawal reignited concerns. The situation is highly volatile. While Iran has primarily relied on proxies to confront Israel, the risk of direct military confrontation has grown. Israel has conducted numerous airstrikes against Iranian targets in Syria, aiming to prevent the transfer of advanced weapons to Hezbollah. Iran has responded with limited attacks on Israeli-linked ships. The possibility of a miscalculation spiraling into a wider war is a constant concern. A direct conflict would be devastating for the region. The United States, long considered Israel's staunchest ally, finds itself in a delicate position. The Biden administration seeks to revive the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran, creating friction with Israel. The U.S. has provided Israel with billions in military aid. The potential for a rift over Iran remains a concern. Russia, under Vladimir Putin, has emerged as a major player in the Middle East. Moscow maintains close ties with Iran and Syria, countering U.S. influence. Russia's intervention in Syria in 2015 solidified its power in the region. Russia also positions itself as a mediator between Iran and Israel. However, Russia's arms deals with Iran raise concerns in Israel. China, with its growing economic and military might, is asserting itself in the Middle East. Beijing prioritizes its economic interests while avoiding regional conflicts. China is a major importer of Middle Eastern oil and invests heavily in regional infrastructure via the Belt and Road Initiative. Beijing deepens ties with Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE. Section 4. A divided world, the Global South and the Middle East conflict. The ongoing tensions in the Middle East highlight a growing divide between the West and the Global South. Many countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America view the conflict through their own historical experiences with colonialism. They often sympathize with the Palestinian cause and view Israel's actions as Western imperialism. They criticize the West's silence on Israeli settlements while condemning Palestinian resistance. Section 1. The ticking clock. Pathways to escalation. The Middle East is a tinderbox, and the kindling is everywhere. What would it take for this volatile situation to explode into a regional war? The scenarios are numerous and troubling. One pathway is intentional escalation by either side. Israel might decide a preemptive strike is its only option. Such an attack could spiral into a wider conflict. The fog of war in the digital age. Miscalculations are high, small incidents escalate, cyber realm blurs peace and war, cyber attacks cripple infrastructure. This provokes military response, naval miscalculations spark conflict, accidental sinking leads to retaliation. Looming over all of these scenarios is the specter of nuclear weapons. Iran's nuclear progress has heightened anxieties in Israel. Israel has stated it will not allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons. Any Israeli strike on Iranian facilities would carry immense risks. Section 4. Preventing Armageddon, the role of diplomacy and deterrence. Given these terrifying possibilities, it's easy to succumb to despair. Diplomacy remains the only viable option for averting disaster. The Biden administration must make clear that security lies through dialogue. Reviving the 2015 nuclear deal would ease tensions. Deterrence remains crucial. Israel must maintain a credible military threat. The U.S. must reassure its allies of its commitment to their security. A fork in the desert. We've journeyed through a complex and volatile landscape. From Gaza to Washington, the echoes of this conflict reverberate. The path ahead is fraught with danger and uncertainty. Will it be a road to war or a fragile peace? The choices made will determine the fate of the region and the world. Section 2. The global village echoes of a distant war. The Middle East may seem distant, but its conflicts affect us all. The price of oil, global markets, and terrorism are all linked to this volatile region. We live in a global village where one nation's actions impact us all. Stay informed, stay engaged. The wisdom of awareness. Awareness is key. Seek diverse perspectives. Engage in dialogue. Be informed and empowered. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share.